I got the chance to see the Black Widow movie last week, and I gotta say, I enjoyed it. Before I elaborate, though, I just want to be crystal clear. This review will contain spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled about the new Black Widow movie, this isn't the video for you. And if you're watching live and you don't want spoilers, this is why the segment is last. I'll see you next week. Thank you for stopping by. My relationship with the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is very complex for reasons that would be too long to elaborate on. But one thing that I hadn't seen in a while is a nice street level movie. Like, that's why I was looking forward to Black Widow for a while. Like, to be honest, within the Avengers, as far as the movies go, Black Widow and Hawkeye were out of their league. But knowing that it would be a movie featuring Black Widow, I was like, yeah, a good old fashioned action movie, you know? Not every story can be Galactus coming to eat the planet. Not every threat can be a global threat. So it's just really good. Now there is a point that I want to bring up, which is I watched Eric July's review of the movie, and something he mentioned was that the less knowledgeable you are on the core material, the more likely you are to enjoy the movie. So that might explain why I enjoyed Scarlet Witch, or why I enjoyed Black Widow as much as I did, because Black Widow is one of these characters that I don't read a lot of. She's one of the many characters that I only read them when they're involved in whatever other book that I'm reading or crossover event. Just case in point. Again, I know I'm one of the few people who actually enjoyed Secret Empire, the crossover event where Steve Rogers was Hydra his whole life and like took over the USA. In that story, Black Black Widow did some really cool shit in there, and was part because given the situation that they were in, where you have, an evil Steve Rogers in charge of the U.S., there was this, hiding rebellion type thing where, Black Widow is an expert at hiding and secret identities and things like that. So the things necessary for resistance movement to survive in that America is right up Black Widow's alley. So yeah, that was really cool. I gotta say, in the movie, I really loved Yelena Belova. She was by far my favorite character in the movie. I really liked her. Now, Taskmaster. Uh, just to be clear, I'm going to refer to Taskmaster as a man, the reasons for which I'll come back to later. So, there's a term in pro wrestling called jobber. And what a jobber is a wrestler who loses all their matches. They just lose, but they lose in a way that makes the main eventer that's fighting them look good. And in wrestling terms, Taskmaster is a jobber. It's I haven't seen him in that many comics, but his role is to be defeated swiftly by the hero. Like they're heroes, they're supervillains where defeating them will take like 5, 6 issues or more. We're talking half a year because it's a monthly thing. Taskmaster, I can't remember a comic that I've read where Taskmaster wasn't defeated in the same issue that he was introduced in. He's a fucking jobber to the point where whenever the story that I'm reading tries to make Taskmaster look like a legitimate threat, I can't help but roll my eyes. Like even in Ta-Nehisi Coates' run of Captain America, there was an issue where Taskmaster was there, and like in the narration that took place during the fight, Steve Rogers was saying like, "Oh, Taskmaster is no slouch," and I'm like, "Yes, he is." It's really fascinating to me. But that being said, as much as Taskmaster is kind of a joke villain, if you're if you want to do a debut movie of a street level hero, Taskmaster is an excellent choice for that job. And that is supported by the fact that Taskmaster essentially lost every fight that he was in the movie. Like he didn't win anything. And despite that, both Taskmaster and Black Widow and whoever else he was fighting, they all looked really cool, and that's a jobber's job. That was perfect for him. I'd say the only time that Taskmaster quote unquote won, he didn't even win. He showed up after someone else temporarily defeated Black Widow. So he was like a total jobber from the start, and that's fine. The next thing that I and this is a theme that was pretty clear to me, which is the, for lack of a better term, the girl boss stuff. Now, the reason why the girl boss, girl power shit didn't bother me is because it's easy to see coming. This We're talking about a Marvel movie with a female protagonist. Fortunately, Black Widow is a very well established character, so they didn't need to do any shenanigans for her. More on that in a second. So it's kind of easy to see that coming. So whenever, like, the most blatant thing is, and I just realized I've been a talking head this whole time. One of the characters is the Red Guardian. The Red Guardian is essentially Russia's Captain America. Like, he was injected with like the equivalent of the super soldier form. So he's a guy who's on steroids, and in the movie, he's kind of depicted as like a goofy oaf, kind of dumb and in the way sometimes and things like that. But it the reason that didn't bother me is because I don't think they laid it on particularly thick, and within the context of the movie, I think it made sense. Like, just to give a bit of context, the premise as far as the movie goes is that Natasha and Yelena were daughters. Like, basically, you had four Russian agents being sent to America to like do some undercover mission that I don't even know if the details were revealed of that mission. It doesn't really matter. But the idea is that Red Guardian was the fake father of the family, and his wife, who is, I believe, Minerva, was like an actual scientist. So if the female agent is a scientist and the male agent is essentially a soldier on super steroids, then it kind of makes sense that that the woman would be the brains and the man would be the brawn. That's totally fine. I accept that, no problem. There was only like one scene where I would say that they laid it on thick, and it was over quick, so it didn't bother me that much. There's one thing that that is absolutely fascinating to me, because the premise of the movie is that Black Widows were like kidnapped as children and subjected to like this trauma-based mind control, one might call it, and trained to be assassins that way. And in the movie, there's this gas that's discovered, which basically cancels out any mind control. And at a point in the movie, Natasha and Yelena meet up, and they discuss this magic gas, right? And then when Black Widow asks Yelena what the gas does, she says The gas immunizes the brain's neural pathways from external manipulation. And then Black Widow goes, can you say that again in English? Which was really weird to me. Like, I get that there are $5 words in there in terms of like length of the words, but immunizing the brain's neural pathways from an external manipulation, if that's too high level for you, I don't think you're in a position to make fun of people. That was really weird to have Black Widow say that. The final arc in this is regarding Taskmaster. God damn it. They gender bent Taskmaster, and the thing that bothers me about this is that I don't see the plus value. Like, in the abstract, I don't mind gender bending characters. I don't mind race bending characters. What I do mind is when it's done for no reason, in a way that either sidelines existing characters. Like, earlier this year, I covered the Black Superman movie, where instead of using one of the canonical black Kryptonians in the DC universe, they're just gonna race bend Clark Kent. That fucking sucks. But the gender bending of Taskmaster strikes me as really short-sighted, because the only reason that they did that was for a reveal at the end of the movie. Like, Taskmaster, I talk about how he's a jobber. Taskmaster's been around for a while. Taskmaster has been around since 1980. So, you know, just the end of the Bronze Age. Taskmaster's been around for a while. And just not only is there no need to gender bend this guy, but they seem to have done it just as a end of movie twist, and no other reason, which strikes me as short-sighted, because Black Widow does have some female villains. Iron Maiden is actually in the movie. I believe. Yeah, Melina Vostova is Natasha's undercover fake mom during their mission in Idaho. So she's in the movie. But you could have just used one of her female villains, and, you know, revealed at the end of the movie that she was in fact, I forget her name. Let's see here. Antonia, yeah. Like, that could have been a way to do it. Or worst case scenario, you could, you know, Natasha's an Avenger. You could have used one of the Avengers' female villains. It just strikes me as really nearsighted to needlessly gender bend in a pre-existing character, a very well-established character, for nothing but a last end of movie twist reveal. You know, it just strikes me as really weird. But this made me think, because, like I just said earlier, like, in the abstract, I don't mind gender bending or race bending characters. Like, I do understand, like, the whole meme of representation matters. I think there is validity to that, and I think that if gender bending or race bending serves the purpose of the story you're trying to tell, I think there are many ways it can work. If it doesn't, then it can still work. An example that I've been pondering ever since I saw Black Widow is the as you all know, The Flash is my favorite hero, tied with Spider-Man. And when they made the Flash TV series, and also in the New 52, they race bent Iris West. And was there plus value in making Iris West black? Not really. And yet, I didn't mind making Iris West black for the TV series. Like, not at all. I would say part of that is that Candace Patton, from what I remember, fucking crushed it as Iris. Like she was really good in that role, and that helps. I would say that maybe another reason why I didn't mind at all is because it was introduced clearly, like right at the beginning. You know, if you're making a TV series about the Flash, you better introduce Iris like very early on, especially if it's Barry Allen. Like, yeah. And you know, early on in the series, we see Iris, she's black, and that's fine. I don't think Iris West's whiteness has much of anything to do with her character. So just making her black for the TV series, it didn't remove anything. And the added thing is, you know, the representation. And again, Candace fucking crushed it in that role, I think. So it's a win-win, you know. But doing it as a bait and switch for 2 hours, and the thing is, like, Taskmaster in those really cool fights that he lost throughout the movie, the actor playing Taskmaster was clearly a man. As a matter of fact, if you go to the IMDb here, you search for Taskmaster, you see that Olga here. Yeah, she was the last minute reveal, but you see this little 2 here. The guy who did the cool flips and kicks and shit like that, he did a really good job, and yeah, it just strikes me as really, really weird and short-sighted. So I'm not going to belabor this. I think that besides that, the movie was quite enjoyable. You know, obviously, well, I didn't know Taskmaster was a woman until the end of the movie when you know, they put the actress in for the reveal. And the other critique that I would say is, there were a couple explosions that took place where the character in question was awful close to that explosion, and that it was hard for me to maintain my suspension of disbelief. But that happens basically in a lot of action movies. It happens all the time. So if that's like one of my bigger critiques, I would say that's fine. I opened by saying how much I enjoyed the movie. So yeah, that is what I have to say. I am curious to know your thoughts. Please leave your comments below. What did you think of the gender bending of Taskmaster? Did it really bother you that much? If so, why? If not, why not? Please leave your comments below. If you like the video, please like it. I do these streams every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Thank you once again, and I will see you soon.